Hey guys, so here bringing you another video. Now, welcome back to another Challenger Spectate. I think this guy, well, technically not Challenger today. I'll have a little look just to make sure. But yeah, Grandmaster. But there are challenges in this game. Today we're watching Kha'Zix for a couple of reasons. One, I'm personally interested potentially in playing him soon, but I haven't played Kha'Zix in such a long time that I wanted to watch a guy, see what he does, also look at like the evolve order, get a good sense of it. And I think I'm titling this video probably something along the lines of like how to snowball on Kha'Zix. That's kind of what I'm trying to look and see, because that's really how you climb. Obviously we have started the Smurf series, and how you climb, a lot of it is you get fed, right? That's the basis of climbing. Get fed and carry the game. So that's what I want to watch on this Kha'Zix. You may recognize people like Forgiven is on the enemy team, so obviously yeah, very high rating. And one thing I do want to note, there may be some people saying, you know, there are a few too many potential Challenger Spectates and Pro Spectate games. Hopefully you guys don't mind them. I find they're very educational. Obviously the more entertainment is the live commentaries, which you're getting as the main video of the day. These are good when I just don't really have much to upload, or for example, I have quite a lot of Smurf games already recorded, but I like to reserve like a really good game on the Smurf to be the main video of the day, the first video of the day. And let's just say tomorrow's episode is a really good episode where I'm playing Echo Jungle, and I didn't want that to be the second video of the day today. So that's tomorrow's main video. But there will be Smurf content as the second video. For example, tomorrow, both videos will be the Smurf series. So yeah, again, main account content will come back. I did try to play on the main account today, and it went terribly. So I think I'm going to have a week or so break from the main account just to give the mental a bit of a reset from that account, and we'll try again in about a week or so. Anyway, Kha'Zix starting on the red, obviously. Took his Q, and you can see he is kiting heavily, trying to avoid as much damage as possible, because Kha'Zix is a relatively squishy jungler. Hasn't popped any potions right now. But I'd imagine he's going to do a relative full clear. You know, you'll notice he hasn't done the top camp. He's also doing the wolves, and he's using the talisman, by the way, for some health regen. So he's actually ignoring that wolf because I don't know, it takes too long, I guess, or this guy's just timed it that, you know, he can kill everything, he can kill the blue, he doesn't need to kill the main wolf, he'll hit level 3, and then there should be a scuttle crab or something coming up. Obviously, very low health, so if he got counter-ganked very soon, he would probably die. But yeah, so he's perfectly calculated hitting level 3, by the way. First blood comes in on mid lane for the enemy team. Kha'Zix now looking for a roam. And also, worth noting, he has taken red trinket. Meanwhile, Spot's one there. He has taken red trinket level 1. So that is just probably this guy's playstyle of heavily, I'm looking for ganks here. He is going to go potentially aggressive. Echo's in the area, flashes over, does the Kha'Zix, doesn't get in range yet. For some reason, the Echo doesn't have a singular buff, does flash out the way. Rengar top lane now is coming in the area, and they will now look to steal the Echo's buff. With Rengar in the area, I guess Echo didn't realize. Rengar going to try and pick up a kill, doesn't. Kha'Zix actually focuses and takes the blue. Meanwhile, all this happening, by the way, Camille staying top. So if I was on blue team, I might be a little bit annoyed that Camille stayed top. I partially understand why. The wave is at her tower. She needs to maximize her farm. I kind of understand why, but you never know. Like, people were quite low in that situation, so Camille being there might have made the difference of, hey, we got them. Or not. We'll also just make a little tease for you guys, because people may look at that Rengar top and go, Huz, didn't you used to play a lot of Rengar top back in the day? I did. I recorded an episode on the Smurf series earlier of me playing Rengar top. So you can look forward to that in a few days. I thought I'd just little tease there for you, for those that have been around the channel for a long time. There is, you know, the reason that my logo is a lion, ultimately, is because I used to play a lot of Rengar top. You know, a lot of people may not know that. Anyway, gank potentially on. Syndra with the stun. Gets it with the Kha'Zix jump. Arguable Kha'Zix jump, by the way. And yeah, very arguable. I have no idea why he did that. Why waste your jump when you can just walk up to the target that's already stunned, and when she manages to run away, then use your jump to follow? So a bit of weird play, even though this is one of the best Kha'Zixes in solo queue type thing. They can make weird plays as well. He's now on the back foot. Syndra hasn't come over to help. He does survive just. Syndra may now look for a stun. Doesn't land it, and that will be the play overall. So the Echo being only level 3 is what has hurt him in that situation, and obviously he's level 3 because of the steal that just happened over at the blue buff. But yeah, very risky, very risky. All right, so Kha'Zix going back, getting the blue smite. Doesn't go for red smite. Meanwhile, top lane, Rengar gets a solo kill. Nice to see. But yeah, goes for blue smite. Not worth going for red. So the general thing that I'd say with blue versus red smite, blue smite is good for high damage burst dealers or people that don't have utility. Like, you know, you want to slow the target or something. Blue smite obviously slows and it gives you just instant damage. Red smite is better for what you'd call the duelist, the duelist junglers, because that gives you damage reduction while you're fighting the person that you've smited. So yeah, pretty effective. So Kha'Zix now coming for a gank. Enemy team, I guess, distracted. Opens with the one thing I'll say, that was fine. It worked out. It does actually surprise me how often this guy opens with his jump. Normally a jungler doesn't use their mobility at the beginning of a combo because, as we mentioned earlier, like that Soraka didn't use any summoners to survive. Let's just say she manages to survive a little bit longer and she flashes away after Kha'Zix has used his jump. Well, because Kha'Zix could have easily just walked up to them, and maybe in that situation it was fine because the enemy team was really caught out. But it's just worth noting, you know, you don't always open with your mobility just in case the enemy team flashes away, especially as a situation that, like, you can just walk up to them, they flash, then you jump after them. It is worth noting. Anyway, more jungle clear happening. Again, the way the jungle works at the moment, it is getting buffed, by the way, pretty soon. But you want to have a good, happy medium between farming and ganking. And I'd say this Kha'Zix has nailed it so far. His farm is relatively the same as the Echoes, and he's actually had more kill pressure. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's nice to see that he's maximizing both ultimately, which is good. Gank coming through mid lane, Bard roam, by the way. So this is a, do you want to say, a relatively new Bard build? It's something that I would not recommend to do because it takes, I'd say, weirdly a lot of skill to pull off correctly. But yeah, it's Omni Stone, Boots and Mobility Rush Bard that you'll most likely see him run a Dead Man's as his next item. Dead Man's Plate, the tank item. That's probably what you're going to see this guy build in a second. So Kha'Zix is level 6, hasn't evolved anything yet. I don't think, unless he has. Oh no, evolves his Q, so there you go. So I personally right now don't actually know what the evolve order is. Camille may be surviving, maybe not in a second. Wham, there we go. Nice positioning, gets the kill, lovely, lovely. But yeah, I didn't know what the evolve order for Kha'Zix. So part of my reasoning of wanting to watch a Kha'Zix is, oh yeah, okay, you evolve Q first. Because Kha'Zix has been in a situation of the champion's life that you've pretty much evolved everything first at one stage. When he first got released, you evolved, W, and Kha'Zix actually was a mid laner when he first got released, believe it or not. Wait, no, hang on. I'm very confused. Oh, wait, is that... Oh, okay, never mind. Him growing wings there just made me thought he evolved E, but I was like, wait, he just evolved Q? No, his base animation, he gets wings. God, that scared me for a second. But yeah, Kha'Zix as a champion has eventually, and throughout history, evolved everything first. W was initial. He's evolved E at one stage when E was really strong. Q has been, I'd say, the normal thing that he evolves first. But Ultimate was actually a thing that he evolved first too, when Ultimate was really strong at one time. Anyway, he is roaming down, Forgiven on the back foot. 2 levels down, by the way, to the opponent AD carry. That is insane. And it, by the way, does also seem... I personally... Let me know what you guys think. I personally think Forgiven is very much overrated as a player. I always have. Like, he's very ego as well. Like, I'm the best, blah, blah. Never really seen it. And he does kind of seem he's just a Xayah one-trick in pro play, which is a bit odd. And the funny thing in pro play, they're letting him play it, but it doesn't really matter. So yeah, that is kind of the funny thing. Yeah. Anyway, Rome is on. Kha'Zix actually ultimates. Bit weird ultimate, if I'm going to be honest. Doesn't come anything out of it. He did, by the way, take the dragon. That's one thing worth noting. The better junglers that you watch generally will look for those sneaky little dragons, especially when you're playing something with high solo damage like a Kha'Zix. Another big thing that I'm noticing with this guy is when I've played Kha'Zix in the past, I very often hold my jump. I don't like using my jump because in the back of my mind, I'm always like, what if Echo invades me right now and I need my jump? So but this guy, he uses it all the time. Jumps again. Like, he's using it 24/7. So that's something that's actually interesting me. Obviously, worth noting, it will be speeding up his clear. The E, landing with the E does damage, but also getting to places to do damage quicker is also going to be beneficial. Now, here's the classic Rengar top. He roams a lot. You know, you do okay in your individual lane. Cinderalt doesn't do enough damage. You do well in your individual lane, and then you start roaming. 1 kill, Rengar flashes into the bush, enemy team going to try and get away. Soraka using the blasting cones, Cassio ult comes through, Zyra on the back foot, Bard is now going, hello, going to do a bit of slows. That will most likely be the play, though. And yeah, beneficial for the enemy, for the red team. Bit of stealing potentially happening here, does look like it. But yeah, mid lane is quite a big difference of farm right now. Weird situation is, even though you've had this Rengar that now is roaming, the Camille is still not caught up with farm. So that's a little bit weird. Maybe that just shows how much the Camille has been denied farm so far. Like, she's probably caught up a fair amount in the last minute or two, but she was so far behind that she still hasn't overtaken the Rengar that hasn't been in top lane for a while. And now, perfect timing while bot lane gets killed. Perfect timing that now the Camille, and this is how, as a jungler, that sometimes you've got to think about things. Oh, so Rengar's going to return to lane. Camille now has probably a bit of confidence. Straight away, weirdly, no damage is coming off. Straight away, gank her instantly. So that is the situation that we've spoken about before. If Kha'Zix opened with his jump, then Camille E'd away, well, then she's escaped. Kha'Zix held his jump to then follow the Camille. That's how you do it. So Kha'Zix doing the Scuttle, and again, people have heard me say Scuttle is completely a waste of time, but also realize that's for solo laners. If you're a top laner, never go do it. If you're a mid laner, I wouldn't be bothered to go help, like, kill a Scuttle. Junglers, when you've got nothing to do, you just killed the enemy top laner, yeah, do it then. He opens with his E this time. I think that is actually the right call, because the Echo's completely surrounded at this stage. Questionable that Echo even tried to go for that, to be honest. He's 2 levels down. And yeah, he has nobody around to help him or anything like that. So I need to sneeze. Excuse me. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, so far so good. The one thing I will say about jungling specifically, jungle's in a weird position right now. That most good players in League agree that it's the most important solo queue role at the moment in the game for a couple of reasons. One, obviously, Rise of the Elements is the brand new update, so dragons are a big part of the strength, you know, in the game right now. So junglers determine a lot of the time if you get dragons or not. Meanwhile, Camille does get a solo kill. By the way, Camille should outscale a Rengar in a 1v1. But that's one point, is, you know, junglers are the determining factor of getting objectives 99% of the time. Secondly, why it's so important is it's actually the biggest role that can have the biggest XP difference, because how jungling is right now, when one jungler gets ahead, it's very hard for the other jungler to make a comeback. Before, and what, by the way, why is this a new thing for Season 10? Because there used to be, and I don't think a lot of people realize, there used to be such a thing called comeback XP. So when you as a jungler were 1 level down, I think it was 1 level down to your jungle opponent, you got bonus experience to catch up. Riot removed that. So obviously when one jungler is ahead, what does that mean? Well, that means they're getting all the Scuttle Crabs. That means they're getting all the dragons. That means they're getting the Rift Heralds. That's a lot of XP, you know? That's a lot of XP that they're getting because they're doing better. And now the enemy jungler has nothing to catch up. All the objectives are dead. You know, they're all dead, and they have no comeback mechanic XP-wise. So that's why there is such a separation between junglers that are doing good and junglers that are doing bad. So that's why jungling, to me, is the most important role in the game right now. Objectives, and if your jungler is doing better than theirs, it's such a big difference. Anyway, Echo now, willy-nilly, walking in. To be honest, this Echo shouldn't be just randomly walking like, you know, he can. They're really far behind. You know, again, we wanted to watch how to snowball a game on Kha'Zix. This is how. Constant pressure, constant objective taking. It's the premise that we've spoken about before. Always doing something. This Kha'Zix isn't just waiting in a bush for a minute to look for a gank. It's constantly looking to do stuff. Killing the jungler, killing whoever, then killing a dragon. It's constant. That's how you play jungle. Meanwhile, Camille gets another solo kill. Again, we have said that eventually Camille will beat that Rengar pick. It's inevitable, especially with the Rengar build. I actually do not like that Rengar build, and I do a different one. Again, when we play Rengar top in a Smurf episode in a few days, you guys will see my Rengar build. But yeah. Right, so Kha'Zix now 502. 500 gold bounty is worth noting. Obviously, if he dies, he will be giving a lot of gold to the enemy team or whoever gets the kill. Gold-wise, though, he is at 5,700 gold. He is 2,000 gold ahead of his jungler. And again, that's just jungling. That is normal right now for the jungle. One jungle is ahead. One jungle is really far behind. That is the way that it is. Meanwhile, blue buff is being taken. He is giving it to the Syndra. Meanwhile, a gank is actually on. Cassiopeia potentially overstaying. Bard ultimate comes through. Does catch. Again, replays are bugged right now. She flashes. I think she's probably still dead. You can see they're being smart about, you know, positioning. There was also a Xayah. Now, that's very weird. Why would Xayah be bot lane when her Kha'Zix is, when her Cassio is bot lane? That makes no sense. Ultimate comes through. Ultimately doesn't matter. But yeah, that positionally doesn't make any sense why Xayah would be bot lane. Oh, hang on. Alright, sorry, I'm back. Basically, what happened there was my little buds ran out of battery during the recording, so I had to just charge them for a minute, and it gave them 20% battery life, so I can finish off the recording. Sorry about that. Anyway, we'll continue. I don't know where we were in the commentary. Meanwhile, Rengar, by the way, dies again. So that does show, you know, it isn't the focus of this episode, but Rengar top does fall off if you don't get really fed. And yeah, he does fall off in general to a lot of other top laners, and I'd say what the Rengar's done wrong this game: one, his build's really bad. Secondly, he's playing kind of wrong. He shouldn't be looking to fight a Camille. He doesn't beat that. He should be looking to roam and kill the weak things, the squishy things, the Echo, the Cass, the Xayah, Soraka. But the one thing the Rengar is doing is fighting the person he can't kill. Anyway, Kha'Zix continuing his farm. Like we mentioned, how does a jungler and the XP separation happen? Again, like this, taking away the objectives that are contested. A Scuttle Crab is a contested objective for XP. If Kha'Zix is getting all of them, then Echo's getting none of them. He can't catch up. So that, by the way, because I have had some people going, how is it that bad for junglers? That's how. Before, when that used to happen, there used to be a comeback mechanic that also, you know, made your wolf camp worth more experience so you could catch up with XP. That doesn't exist anymore. Meanwhile, Rengar going for the Xayah. Like we mentioned, this is what he needs to do, but there is a Cassiopeia waiting for him. Now, I have no idea why these two are bot lane together. It makes very little sense. Meanwhile, Kha'Zix walking around the side. Again, opens with his... So weird. He opens with his jump, but again, he's just maximizing his damage, I guess. He picks up one, Rengar picks up two. No idea why two carries are together in lane. Doesn't make any sense. Meanwhile, the Bard's getting caught by the Camille, who actually is quite strong right now. Not sure this is actually going to go well for a red team. Misfortune is on her way, though. Rengar just needs to survive as long as possible. Heal comes from the Misfortune. Don't know where the Kha'Zix is now on his way. Should actually be doing and helping here, if I'm completely honest. He's going to go now for the Soraka, who's now alone. Soraka doesn't have any summoners, so Kha'Zix can afford to flash here. Does get the kill. Legendary will now, with the Misfortune, finish them off for the double kill. And that, by the way, was without a Syndra. So that was a 4v5. Nearly an ace. I don't know if Echo died. I actually haven't seen the Echo in a while. He might have AFK'd, I'm not sure. And what I will say, obviously, AFKing is never a good thing. But for one, maybe you guys agree, let me know. Again, AFKing I think is a big problem in League right now. It's usually the jungler that's AFKing, and it's usually the jungler that gets really far behind. Because it is a bit depressing at the moment in jungle. When you alpha one, you have no way of catching up. Like, you don't. Like, just straight up. Unless the enemy team legit just starts inting, you cannot physically catch up to your opponent. There is no way of doing it. Obviously, the most realistic way is you'll catch up at level 18. You know, because obviously the Kha'Zix, when he gets to level 18, he's hit max level. But yeah, like that's practically the only way. So it wouldn't be surprising if the Echo has kind of quit. Now Xayah in top lane by herself, probably going to die. Kha'Zix coming over to help out. Not sure if he actually needs to, but he's going to. Picks up the kill with the Syndra. And also another thing that we've learned now is the max order. He has maxed W second. Oh, sorry, evolved. So he evolved Q first, then the W. Echo is an AFK, he's in mid lane, but Misfortune is killing everything. Does eventually die, though. Echo is going to be, well, potentially dead if Kha'Zix wants it. And ultimate comes through. Kha'Zix is going to continue the chase with the Bard. Looks for the Q. Echo tries to go for a flash over the top and will end up dying. Kha'Zix, I can guarantee, will go now and do the Dragon, because that's the priority in the game. You know, one of the worst things for me when you load into a game of solo queue, you know, I use Professor. Again, if you want my loading screen, make sure you check the description down below. You can download the app. for Professor. But one of the worst feelings is when you have a jungler that it says on their profile, ignores dragons. Oh. Worth also noting that at the Echo, you know, maybe he sells these, maybe he doesn't. And yeah, he's kind of raging. You can tell he bought all tiers and then he sells them, undoes it, and then buys his normal stuff. So that's a rager thing right there. It used to be tiers, stacking tiers. And in essence, why? They're crybabies, right? That's kind of the process, is they're buying tiers because they're crying. So that he's buying, you can't stack tiers anymore. So the people that do that, they now buy sapphire crystals instead. But yeah, for those that are like, what's that about? Yeah, it's the sign of a rager. It always has been, pretty much. The history of League. Anyway, Rengar on the bot side. With the Cassio. The Cassio now does a nice flash play, to be honest. She will pick up the kill. That was actually a really clean Cass. So you can buy... Where are these people coming from? It must be it was teleport. Again, the replay files right now are bugged. So the teleport would have been happening. You can see here it's on cooldown. But for some reason, the animation of teleport just isn't in the replay file. So they just appear. Meanwhile, there's a bit of a weird thing going on that the Bard is fighting Zyra in the 1v1. He will back off, but he'll probably rotate. He's waiting for his Q to come back up. Meanwhile, they are going to go into the enemy base. So overall, how does snowball a game on Kha'Zix? Well, the answer is high aggression play. You know, earlier the Kha'Zix invaded the blue with the Rengar. So high aggression play for one. Meanwhile, the Zyra actually gets killed by the support. So high aggression play and take every objective. I think that's honestly the more important thing to see how there has been such a level difference this game. Like before, the Echo has been a bit whatever, you know, you might have AFK'd the last couple minutes here or there, but there was still like a 3-level difference before the Echo started kind of trolling. That 3-level difference was built because Kha'Zix took every objective. He took Scuttle Crabs, he took Dragons, he took a Rift Herald. All of that is XP that the Echo cannot get. So that is, in essence, how you snowball on Kha'Zix, or in fact any jungler right now, is value objectives practically over everything. So this is where, like, pure ganking junglers can suffer, because a pure ganking jungler isn't going for every objective, or not even wanting to go for every objective. Again, another ultimate objective here. Kha'Zix is now looking for Baron. I'm going to control ward it. Back off it, don't do it instantly, just like make the enemy team trying to forget that I was near the area. But in the back of this Kha'Zix's mind is, I want to do this soon, probably. But yeah, the game is probably in its closing stages. They are getting more kills. Now, again, here we go. Kha'Zix pinging the Baron. Like we said, he wants to do this. He is this player is everything about objectives. Now, the unfortunate thing, because his team is distracted by a mispositioned Cassio, they're more interested in killing the Cassio. She's not actually dead yet. Oh, good ultimate too. They do eventually kill her, and where is Kha'Zix? He's going back to the Baron. That is what he wants. Meanwhile, Rengar gets a solo kill in bot lane, and the weird thing here, and it sucks when you're a jungler, free Baron, y'all. Yeah, they ignore him. They're not going for it. So they could have got it, but 4 of them just don't want to go get it, I guess. You know, does he need the Baron right now? The answer is definitely no. So his team is just valuing, let's just break the base more, get another inhibitor, and then do Baron maybe. So yeah, again, there is definitely an argument that you don't always need to go for Barons. 100%. I've said it for years that the more Barons cause losses than victories, because a lot of people do risky Barons and they end up getting aced, and it's like, ugh, don't do that. You know, be careful with them. So Syndra does get a one-shot on the Soraka with the Kha'Zix's help. He actually has the back off here. Cassiopeia going for a all-in. He does actually pick up the kill with his W. Guarantee the Cassiopeia went for that because he's not died. And it's like, I want him to die. But there we go. That will be the game. Hopefully you guys have learned a lot. Misfortune Ultimate doing so much damage. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit about how to snowball about jungle. And yeah, in honest, you know, he did well in ganks. Obviously, the Kha'Zix is really fed. He's legendary, 12 kills. But how the Kha'Zix actually got his strength was through objectives. So that's it. Don't ignore dragons. Don't ignore scuttle crabs. For junglers, taking a Rift Herald when it's free is cool. It's all XP, right? So that's how you build your lead. But if you guys did enjoy, throw a like on the video, throw a comment. And yeah, I'm really enjoying making content right now. Hopefully you guys have noticed. I think the content's pretty good. Just hopefully you guys enjoyed these. Again, I will be doing 2 live commentaries a day moving forward the next few days. But I just thought that the next Smurf episode that I've got in the pipes, it deserves to be the main video of the day, basically. But that's going to be it. If you guys enjoyed, throw a like on it, throw a subscribe, comment down below. See you guys next time. See you.